As Russia continues its relentless war against Ukraine, President Zelensky's country is enduring severe human and infrastructural losses, with civilians and critical facilities caught in the crossfire. Following a night of intense drone and missile strikes, multiple regions across Ukraine have been left without electricity, highlighting the ongoing vulnerability of the country's energy infrastructure. Estimates indicate that over 1 million Ukrainian households were left without power on December 13th, as Russian attacks targeted key energy facilities and transmission networks. The overnight strikes focused on critical energy infrastructure, plunging cities and towns into darkness and disrupting daily life for millions of civilians already coping with wartime hardships.
We came here to charge our phone because there is no electricity.
President Zelensky reported that Russia launched more than 450 drones along with 30 missiles during the overnight assault, underlining the scale and coordination of the attacks on civilian and energy targets. The strikes damaged at least a dozen civilian facilities, including power stations and water supply installations. The Ukrainian president condemned the attacks as acts of terror directed against ordinary Ukrainians, stressing that Russia has no genuine interest in pursuing a peaceful resolution to the conflict. Reports indicate that several civilians were injured during the strikes, and water supplies in many affected regions have been interrupted, leaving communities struggling to access basic necessities. Ukraine's Interior Minister Aya Klimenko described the attacks as painful blows to the nation's already fragile energy sector, warning that the damage will take significant effort and resources to repair. Southern regions, including Odesa and Mykolaiv, were among the hardest hit, with fires at energy storage facilities and critical infrastructure leaving thousands without electricity and water for extended periods. The attacks come as US envoy Witkoff prepares to meet with President Zelensky and European Union officials to discuss potential diplomatic pathways and peace proposals aimed at ending the conflict. In Odesa, Russian strikes hit port and energy facilities, igniting large fires at storage sites and causing extensive damage that could disrupt both local supply chains and international shipping. The southern city of Kherson lost electricity entirely, leaving more than 140,000 residents in the dark and forcing emergency measures to maintain essential services. Water supply in Kherson has been limited to just 4 hours a day, as repair crews work under difficult conditions to restore services to the city's population. According to the mayor of Mykolaiv, the overnight attack represented one of the most massive assaults the city has faced in recent times. The mayor further stated that the Russia attack resulted in extensive damage and casualties were reported across the city. At least 5 people were confirmed injured during the strikes, as emergency responders worked through the night to attend to the wounded and contain fires caused by the attacks. In northern Ukraine, the Chernihiv region was struck more than 30 times overnight, damaging critical infrastructure and leaving local authorities scrambling to maintain essential services. Russia claimed it intercepted over 40 Ukrainian drones during the attacks, which reportedly limited some of the damage, although the strike still inflicted widespread disruption. Ukraine mounted a rare counterattack in the Kharkiv region, successfully inflicting losses on Russian troops and regaining control of strategically important territory. Ukrainian units claim to have driven Russian forces out of the town of Kupiansk, marking a symbolic and tactical victory on a front line that has seen months of intense fighting. While combat continues in Pokrovsk and Myrnarad, Ukrainian forces have reportedly regained 16 square kilometers of territory, pushing back Russian advances in several key areas. Ukraine's Cartier Corps reports that more than 200 Russian troops are currently surrounded, creating a precarious situation for Russian forces in contested areas of the Kharkiv front. Russia had previously claimed that Kupiansk had been captured and that Ukrainian forces were encircled, but these latest developments challenge Moscow's narrative and demonstrate Ukraine's resilience. Since September, over 1,000 Russian soldiers are reported to have been killed and nearly 300 wounded, reflecting the heavy toll of Ukraine's ongoing defensive and offensive operations. The situation remains tense across the country, as Russia continues to transfer reinforcements to contested regions, signaling that the fighting and humanitarian crisis are far from over.
25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.